Can I full recover after the limb lengthening surgery? Guys, this is really important because the dream of everybody is to do the lengthening surgery and to get taller, of course, to reach the dream height and dream. And of course, to walk normally and do everything as before. I totally understand. Here it's important to know the limb lengthening surgery is always two parts. One of them, successful surgery with a good surgeon. I mean with good surgeon, a lot of experience in limb lengthening surgeries. The second thing is a good treatment like physiotherapy, nurses, and of course nutritionists. This is really important because limb lengthening surgery is a teamwork. Why we do the limb lengthening surgery? Because we have to stabilize your bone with some devices. For example, one method with external fixator or the Precice method with internal system. Because the bone, we can only lengthen the bone with some devices. But if you do the lengthening, you will also lengthen your muscle, tendons, nerves, I mean the soft tissue. And for the soft tissue lengthening, you need a physiotherapist with a lot of experience, and also you have to do yourself exercises. This is really important, like stretching, walking, or some exercises, some homeworks from the physiotherapist. Important here is the surgeon, orthopedic surgeon, is a bone specialist, but the physiotherapist is a soft tissue specialist. That's also the reason why the physiotherapist exists. Because of that, limb lengthening surgery is two parts. If you have a good surgery with a good surgeon, but you have bad physiotherapy, or not enough, or you have nothing, I mean, you do the surgery, you go home just laying down and sometimes walking, this is definitely not enough, because the problem here is on the limb lengthening surgery. Why is the limb lengthening different than a fracture or some other surgeries? You change your anatomy daily and you lengthen your bone. Here is important, your muscle, tendons, nerves, I mean your soft tissue, have to be adapted in the new bone situation, I mean in your new bone height. If you lengthen your bone and your soft tissue cannot understand what's happened, okay, you get taller, but you will be limited and you will walk with restrictions. This is the most important thing. So after a good surgery and a good surgeon, of course, you need a good treatment like physiotherapy, bandages for the Lund method, for example, your medication management, and also nutrition. Why? Because if you do your lengthening and you do nothing, just laying down or just little small exercises, you can get taller, but your recovery will be really late. This is the problem. I mean, you will have late recovery, like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. Here it's important to do the lengthening surgery, and after the lengthening surgery, to lengthen yourself, and every day to adapt your soft tissue in the new bone situation with a professional physiotherapy and a support of the team. We have to do everyday physiotherapy, and we have our lengthening and recovery at the same time. Of course, also for the recovery, we need some high-tech devices, because only the magic hands of the physiotherapist for the manual therapy, it's not enough, because this is a whole limb lengthening. I mean, we lengthen everything, the deep muscle, the deep tendons, the front muscle, quadriceps, hamstring, everything what you have in the femur or the tibia, we will lengthen that. So because of that, you need high-tech devices, and with also manual therapy, because physiotherapy is one of them, manual therapy for limb lengthening surgery. The second thing is machine therapy. What you can gain with the manual therapy, you cannot gain with the machine. What you can gain with the machine, you cannot gain with the manual, because with manual therapy, the physiotherapist is limited to do some exercises. But with machine therapy, we also can release the deep muscle and the deep tissue. If you have everything in all in one, a professional support, we can do the lengthening and recovery at the same time. Of course, for Precice, it's a little bit better, because the Precice, it's without some external devices. Because of that, we can use some machines for the Precice. We can do hydrotherapy, for example, and the recovery with the Precice a little bit faster. With the Lund method, we have to wait until the removal of the fixator, and after that we can use this kind of anti-gravity machines or some other machines, and we can increase the recovery. So most of the patients, I mean, I can only talk from our patients, we lengthen 8, 9 or 10, it depends on patient body anatomy, and after that, after 1.5 months, it's walking almost normal. After 3 months, they can do some small jogging, small running, and after 6 months approximately, they can play soccer or basketball. But after approximately 1 year, of course it depends on patient, they have full recovery and they can do everything as before without any restrictions. If you have a good surgery with a good surgeon, but you don't have any physiotherapy or not enough or wrong physiotherapy treatment for the limb lengthening surgery, so the problem here is you can get taller, but your soft tissue cannot understand the new situation, and maybe you will be limited for your life. Like maybe you will be never flexible as before, or you're running, you're walking, maybe not the walking, but your running will be not like as before. So you can have some restrictions. This is really important, a professional support for the limb lengthening. After everything, if the patient is fully recovered, so the most important thing here is to know the patient's walking capacity is much better than before because of the longer legs. For example, in my case, my wife, I remember before my surgeries, when we was walking together, she said to me, "Sedat, can you a little bit walk faster?" And of course, I thought, okay, I have short legs, because of that my walking capacity is not fast because of my short legs. But after lengthening surgery, your walking will be also fast, and also your sprint capacity. I mean, if you sprint now, and for example, 10 meters in 10 seconds, just example, after the lengthening surgery, after full recovery, you can sprint the 10 meters in maybe 7 seconds because you have longer legs and your steps will be also faster than before. The limb lengthening surgery is a natural surgery because you lengthen yourself with a support of devices. After that, your bone will heal automatically and you are better than before if everything goes well, if the patient have a good surgery and a good service support. Guys, limb lengthening surgery is a dream. It for me was a dream like impossible 10 years ago, but now everything is possible, nothing is impossible. I say that always as a patient. Don't forget, guys, the 3 important G's: good doctor, good team, and good patient. I say always, if you start good, it will end good.